Hi everyone, and welcome to my video on how to put together a cat tree. Now, more important than the how, we're also going to talk about the why. Why would we want to add this aesthetically questionable piece of furniture to our abode? And joining me for this video, besides the usual crew of Mr. Pirate and Claudia, who's circling down there, is my fiance, the inestimable, the lovely, and the incomparable Sim.
Hello, hello.
So feel free to leave congratulations in the comments below. So Sim's going to join me in assembling this cat tree that we ordered off Amazon. How did you pick this cat tree? Sim actually picked this with minor input from me.
Yes, so I looked through about 80 different cat tree options, and clearly this one stood out. Now, in reality, there were a few different dimensions we were looking at, and I was trying to find kind of a narrower one, but one that had low down perches for Pirate and higher ones for Claudia, so we kind of picked this one to just fit in behind the couch.
Because Pirate is a bit of a senior cat, so he's not going to be as jumpy as a young cat like Claudia might be, so we wanted something that has easy access.
Right, he has minimal upwards thrust.
As to why we would want to add a cat tree to our home, well, there's a couple really good reasons. The most important one is that cats love looking down on us, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a moment. Another one is that cat trees typically come with scratching posts. So a good cat tree will provide your cats with an appropriate place to scratch and avoid scratching in inappropriate places like your couch or your sofa.
Which actually can be assisted with lots of nail trimming.
Oh yes.
Which Uri is very good at.
Yes, and for advice on how to trim your cat's nails, I have 2 videos out on that. I'll throw links to them in the comments below. Monsieur Pete needs to be
like
somewhere else.
These guys don't really scratch the leather for some reason, and it's probably because of Uri's fastidious nail trimming.
It's for a clear reason. We trim their nails. And we provide them with alternatives to scratch on. And I mean, of course, the third and maybe the most important reason to have a cat tree, so you can actually display your cat to the neighborhood. Because, you know, dog people just get to show off their dog every time they go for a walk, 2 to 3 times a day, right? 2 to 3 times a day, not once, not every other day. 2 to 3 times per day is how often you're supposed to take your dog for a walk. Whereas cat people, we never really get a chance to show off our little trash goblins, except when we display them in the window with a well-positioned cat tree. And when we go for walks in the neighborhood, there's a regular spot. There's places we stop on every walk to check to see if the cat tree that's clearly visible in the window is occupied. And when it is, typically delays our walk by about 5 minutes. I know all the cats in the neighborhoods that I've lived in. And it's really important to display your little cat. And now that I think about it, actually, maybe that explains why 50% of the internet is just cat photos. It's because really, this is the only practical place to show off your adorable little kitty.
Good insight.
Couldn't think what the other 49% is. Well, it's a matter for a different video. So the actual behavioral reason behind why we have cat trees is that for cats, elevation is much more important than horizontal space. Cats need to have access to a vertical space for their, shall we say, mental welfare, for their behavioral welfare. Because for cats, it's really important to be able to look down on things. It makes them look secure, it makes them look stealthy. You know, they can be keeping an eye out for danger, they can feel really safe because they're up high above. And this was demonstrated by research done at the Animal Welfare Department at UBC in the early 2000s in conjunction with the BC SPCA. And I was lucky enough to be a member of that department briefly as an undergraduate researcher. So I actually got to meet some of the grad students who were doing this work. I was working on dairy cattle for most of my time there, so I never really got to be involved in it. But later, when I was doing an undergraduate research project, which predictably wasn't kitten behavior, that's a story for another time, I got to see the effects of their work. And then what they did was it demonstrated that for cat stress, vertical space was more important than the horizontal space. And this is really important in shelter housing. So instead of trying to put, when you have 20 cats, instead of trying to put them in a big room, what they realized they could use a room with a small footprint, but as long as they created lots of levels with cat trees, with shelving, little walkways, these cats were actually less stressed than they would have been in a much bigger room that was flatter. And of course, when cats are less stressed, it leads to higher adoption rates. So it's really important for cat shelters to get this right. So this is really cool research that led to this, and there's actually work ongoing through the UBC Animal Welfare Department on this topic in conjunction with SPCA. And I encourage you guys to go check out their website for this work, and also to support your local SPCA, because they do a lot of good work, not only in adopting animals out and taking care of animals who have no one else to take care of them, but also in research, and they help the science that then leads to better frontline animal welfare practices. So what this work demonstrated was that cats are just less stressed when they have access to different levels. They can look down on things, and of course, in cats, stress leads to all sorts of undesirable behaviors, and avoiding it is really good for them. And we should always be doing things that are good for cats. So just to summarize, reasons why we want a cat tree: good for animal welfare, good for the cat's mental state. It provides a spot for them to scratch that's not your couch, and it lets you show off your cats to the street if you have windows facing the street.
I feel like all the cat tree marketers need to revamp their strategy, because I don't think they included that last one in there.
Yeah. This video isn't sponsored by anybody, but it probably should be. Okay, without further ado, let's get to it.
All right.
Now, important to note that we don't have instructions for this cat tree, so this might be a little bit of a chaotic process.
We're going to muddle through, and hopefully the cats will be able to give us some pointers, because I know that they know what they want.
StuffOnMyCat.com, one of my favorite websites. I've got the book. It's important to have a worksite supervisor. We're likely to have a very, very conscientious one, just peeking at us from around the corner, staying out of the way, but making sure that all safety practices are followed. We did find instructions. Happy days. I think so far I'm really displaying the best method for DIY projects.
This is delegation.
Delegation is important.
He's playing with the ball. Oh my god.
Oh my god! I'm afraid of moving him.
Oh my god.
Pause for cat. In an upcoming video, I'm going to tell you how not to get scratched by your cat. This is how all of our home improvement projects go. I've just noticed recently this trend of labeling different pieces and assembling yourself furniture with letters, and I just want to strongly endorse it. This makes assembling furniture so much easier.
It's a great departure from IKEA's traditional method of making everything look exactly identical.
Not that we want to say anything negative about our furniture overlords.
No, IKEA is marvelous. It's just that this is a good change.
Pirate's too fat to squeeze by.
Yes, let's play that on pirate. Oh, Jesus, there's a beetle on this thing. It's camouflaged.
Can you poke it with the end of a screwdriver?
Would you like to take this up?
Yeah. Set him free. is not an essential part of cat tree assembly, but highly recommended.
Okay, that looks seriously cozy. I kind of want to climb in there. All right, we're done.
That's it?
That's it, that's all.
That's it.
This is on backwards.
This is on backwards.
That's only because we put this on backwards on purpose. We thought ahead. It's all part of the plan.
Yeah, it's all on purpose.
Yeah.
It's only makes sense because this is going to face the room and this is going to face the window. And we totally planned that in advance. And now it's time to add some cats.
Yes, the last ingredient, perhaps the most important ingredient. Yes.
Oh, no, it's okay.
So Clawdia is showing some hesitancy at being stuffed into the box, but that's okay. We're just going to implant a few kibbles once in a while, and hopefully this will encourage her to go exploring, which is a fun little game to play with your cats as well, by the way. Hiding a kibble in random places around the house is actually a really great way to stimulate your cats and create a little fun hunting game for them, because then they'll just go around checking all the usual spots where you hide the kibble after a while. It's a great thing to do before you leave for work, but that's, again, I digress. See, she's investigating the box already, and if we just leave a kibble in there once in a while, it won't be long before we start finding cats in the box, which is the desirable outcome in this project. Awesome.
Oh gosh.
Let's see if we can get Mr. Pirate. Okay. So, a tip for everybody who has a senior cat in their life. This is maybe a little bit too high for my comfort level with a senior cat like Mr. Pirate, because he does have a little bit of elbow arthritis. So probably what we're going to do is we're going to position this next to a box or some sort of a lift. We'll figure something out that's going to be about this high, and it's going to allow Pirate to get comfortably up and down off of this thing. Although we're also kind of envision him using this box more than the top surface. But yeah, we're going to have a little step up, because that's a really good way to help cats with mobility issues to still live their best life and explore the environment fully. It's just little steps. So we're going to have to figure something out. Maybe a digital cardboard box. That's what I really want.
Also, maybe another little cushion here would be helpful. Although this is padded. So
Yeah, that's nice.
it's cozy to sleep on.
Yeah, I'm pleased with this. I think the cats will enjoy it. Yeah. I did kind of envision having like a 9-foot tall cat tree in the apartment, but that idea got vetoed.
Not by me. I don't know who vetoed that idea. That sounds like a
Maybe
fantastic idea.
by my better self, perhaps. But this looks pretty good.
When we're more comfortable mucking up walls, we'll put a whole bunch of wall shelves for Clawdia to just traverse to the ceiling.
I've always wanted to have nice little catwalks going up the walls.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe some tunnels.
Ooh. It's
Coming next.
Yeah, coming next in the future. Maybe a year from now. So thank you very much for joining us for this little DIY video. Of course, like with all cat toys, most of the fun happens in ways that you don't really intend it to. So we're going to finish this off with some footage of the cats having a really good time playing with all the disassembled parts before we even started this project. Because as everybody knows, when you buy a cat a toy, it's probably going to sit in the box instead of play with a toy. So thank you once again for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you on our future videos. And thank you very much, Sim, for joining me, and thank you, the guys, for your participation and oversight. We can't forget our little site supervisors here. Oh, Mr. Pirate is rubbing his face on this. That's right, it's yours, Pirate. You can mark it. It's all yours. Oh. This is the most engaged I've seen Pirate in such a long time. I know we said goodbye, but we're not going to deprive you guys of seeing Mr. Pirate explore the scratchy post. So scratchy.
you.